if I were to try to approach it from like WWE knows what it's doing standpoint, which I don't think it does, but sometimes I think it's more entertaining if you assume that they do. Um, but because when I go back, I always go back to when Rollins betrayed the Shield, and he made that comment about evolution. Well, it was kind of Triple H's comment that he was parroting, but that everything evolves and that if you don't adapt, you perish. And I think Rollins, what he is now, post-Shield, is someone who's following in Triple H's footsteps, someone who has looked at Triple H and said, this guy got to this spot by doing all this dastardly, sometimes cowardly, sometimes cerebral work. And he's saying, I want to be that guy, and I'm going to sell out everything I've accomplished because I think I can accomplish even better things, just like Triple H did, by becoming this cerebral, slimy, Seth Rollins.
But see, here's the thing, though. He's not cerebral at all, because if you look at everything that's going on, every single strategy that Seth Rollins undertakes on WWE TV, it all comes from Triple H. You could just look at what happened on Monday Night Raw. This is supposed to be some architect, and they talk about how smart he is, and they say, oh, I play this human game of chess better than anyone. Shit, every single thing that he does, it's like Triple H has to hand it to him. It's like a bird, where the birds like chew up the worms, and then that was a very disturbing image. I'm not even going to go there, but basically,
wow.
All Seth Rollins is doing is taking what Triple H regurgitates and making it his own. I don't find that shit entertaining at all. Like, this guy is not intelligent. WWE is not booking him to the level that they should book a world champion. And I'm at a point right now where, shit, if he kept running and never came back, or maybe just forfeited the championship, I'd be perfectly fine with that. Instead of the main event of Battleground being Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar, a match that I have no fucking interest in whatsoever, let it just be the coronation of Brock Lesnar as the new king of WWE, and I'd be perfectly fine with it. I really don't want to see Seth Rollins right now.
For a guy that's an architect, he's pretty damn stupid with some of his strategies. Like the one on Raw, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go call out Brock Lesnar. It's like, you and J&J Security with 8 other people aren't going to beat Brock Lesnar. I mean, come on, man. Like, if the guy is smart, why would he do that? Because it's what everyone doesn't expect. And Brock Lesnar doesn't have to expect that. He can still come out there and kick your ass, whether he expects it or not.
To be fair, 2 weeks before he did that, him and J&J and Kane did destroy Brock Lesnar. So, from Rollins' standpoint, this guy is a deluded egotist. He thinks that he can take out Brock Lesnar. And he's like, yeah, I did it 2 weeks ago. I'm going to do it with J&J. Like, to him, it makes perfect sense. And I'm not sure to what extent Rollins is supposed to be taken seriously as an architect. So I go back and forth on it. I think, on one hand, you have Seth Rollins as this mastermind. But on the other hand, you have Seth Rollins as the guy who thinks he's a mastermind. And I think you could argue...
What value is that in there, though? Like, for you to position someone as the future of WWE, this guy is... Shit, not even the future of WWE. The present. He's a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. What money is it in booking Seth Rollins to be a fraud?
I think you have a disconnect between what WWE, the company, is booking Rollins to be and what Triple H and the Authority are presenting Rollins to be. Triple H and the Authority say Rollins is the future. I don't think the company is under any pretense that Seth Rollins is the future of their company. I think they see a good asset in him, but I don't think they're trying to make this guy the actual future. I think that what Rollins is a really good heel in their eyes, and that's why they're doing all of this. They have this idea that you make this guy a coward or a super egotist or someone that you just want to see get beat up, and I think it's working, as I argued a few weeks ago. I think he is still a good heel, and I think he gets the reaction that they want him to get. And I think that's exactly what's going on here. On screen, he's the guy that Triple H chose because he's willing to do all the sleazeball things to get things done.
See, I would have much preferred them actually book Seth Rollins as a real strategist and him attempting to dismantle the empire that is known as Brock Lesnar. That would have been a much more interesting story to go with heading into Battleground, because the way that I look at it right now, it's not any kind of battleground. It's going to be a friggin' massacre. And to be quite honest, shit, if you were going with the massacre route for Brock Lesnar, that he's just going to go in here and he's just going to beat the hell out of somebody, to be frank, they did a much better job with Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston at Beast in the East, because I kid you not, this is no hyperbole, this is no bullshit in any way, shape, or form. I was much more excited, and I anticipated Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar more than I anticipate Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, what is going to be the main event of a pay-per-view. And if you put me in a situation like that as a fan, that is a problem. Something that I know is going to be a fucking squash match, and I'm more excited about that than the main event of a pay-per-view. I refuse.
Yeah, but I do definitely see where you're coming from there. One thing I think of is, I mean, I'm not saying that what Steven is saying isn't true, in that they see Seth Rollins the way that Steven has described. But then what the hell is he doing with the championship? Because the championship represents the guy that they do look at as the bearing future or present, or who is going to carry the business into the next good era, or be somebody that, you know, everyone can get behind and enjoy, and can be somebody that is the one of the top level stars over the next number of years. I'm not saying every person who holds the belt has to be that way, but if they don't feel that damn confident about Seth Rollins, then why the hell would they have ever put the belt on him? I truly think I do think that they may see him that way, but I also think that WWE has more confidence in Seth Rollins than what the character has been booked to look like. I don't think they're booking him to the level that he could be at. If they made him more of a strategist, and they did make him be somebody who could be taken more seriously, because let's face it, the main eventer is supposed to be someone who can be taken seriously. If it's not, then why would I care about any of those main events for pay-per-views, or very many of them? And he was a guy that we took seriously just a few months ago, back at Royal Rumble, when he faced Brock Lesnar and John Cena in a triple threat match, and I personally think that he felt every bit as good as either one of those guys, and had every bit as much of an opportunity at winning that championship. And now he's going against Brock Lesnar one-on-one, and we're only 6 months ahead of that.
He's relegating himself to a place where he's a fucking loser. He's a nobody. Yeah. He's pretty much telling everyone that I'm no match for this guy.
Yeah, and that's what we are being told now, but yet 6 months ago he was still as good of a heel, yet we felt like he actually could go in there and beat him. And yes, he may need to use help, he may need to use strategy, but that's just part of being a heel. The thing is, he can't go in that ring and beat him. It looks like he's going to, if he's in that ring fair and square, he's just going to get suplexed and get beaten just like Cena did at SummerSlam, except even worse. You know, it's like, and now that the curb stomp is gone, I think that hurts things even more, because the curb stomp was that one weapon Seth Rollins always had that could legitimately take out anybody, even somebody of Brock Lesnar's size and ability. So I think that's a really big issue too. So I'm really not a fan of the way Seth Rollins has been booked one bit.